Alrighty, I'm a little bit tired, but I've been meaning to make this video for the last couple of days, and I think it's really overdue. There is some massive fake news about this Omicron shit. God blimey, you know. Could be the deadliest variant yet. Blah 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 de la di da di da. It's bloody nothing. Not last weekend, but the previous weekend, a lot of the higher-ranking people in the South African healthcare system spent their entire weekend doing news interviews with different European news agencies and, TV channels. And, oh wow, it's all hype and bullshit. It's nothing. It might as well be the common cold. You know, it's whipped up very quickly, but apparently the variations that occur in viruses, usually they become more infective and less deadly. Because you realise if they're too deadly, they won't spread properly. If they're not deadly and they're easily transmitted, they move faster because A, they're easily transmitted, B, they're not killing everyone who gets it, so it has a chance to move on. This happens with all viruses, basically, so I'm told. Long and short of it is, I'm sitting here watching Australian TV. Well, Omicron's possible welcome news because we know that it only has hospitalisations and it doesn't kill people. So, you know, it's going to be less worse than Delta and it could become the dominant strain and blah, 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 blah. No, that's a complete lie. At least one part of it. It causes hospitalisations but no deaths. No, it causes no hospitalisations. Bloody zero. The reality is it started in Botswana. It was picked up in South Africa. It basically, in the space of 4 weeks, 3 million people got it. Now they're saying 50% of South Africa got it. I don't know if the total of South Africa's population is 6 million. It wouldn't surprise me, but it sort of might still surprise me. So I don't know exactly what they meant by 50% have got it, but they reckon there's been 3 million cases. Now it could be they have 3 million tested positive cases, but when they get a town or a community or a suburb, they find that 50% of people have had it or caught it. But of known cases, there's 3 million. How many hospitalisations? None. How many deaths? None. Very, very mild. You might get a slight bit of muscle aches and a cough. And that's it. You'll be fine in a few days. Old ones, young ones, everything in between. They had BBC. Oh, Omicron, we're not too sure, it could be doing this and it. As they're saying all this crap, they're absolutely lying out their ass because they asked in British Parliament, they asked the health minister, how many cases we got, how many hospitalisations, how many deaths was there, and he starts looking at his pages. We got 336 cases. They're sick, but there's been 0 hospitalisations and so far 0 deaths. Now. About a week after this, or maybe a few days after, there's the first death of Omicron ever recorded in England. Quick. You know, 3 million South Africans have got nothing. 336 English have got nothing. We got a death. They won't release the patient's age, gender, if they're sick with anything else, if they were 94 years old or not, if they already had cancer. There's a lot of people who have already had cancer. And not tons, but some that have already had cancer and then got Delta or Alpha especially guys who are like over the age of 50 and have got cancer, if they get the Delta or the Alpha, bang, it's got a fair chance of finishing them off. And it's because the body's so overloaded with the cancer that they're not killed by COVID as such. The COVID is the straw that breaks the donkey's back that kills them. But there was cancer there, you know. And this one who's died, they've got absolutely zero information about the guy or girl. They don't even know. They've got no idea. And there's professors complaining that it's a bit crappy. You've just said somebody's died of it, but we don't have any information whatsoever to analyse if that was the real cause of death or that was the straw that broke the donkey's back. Well, they were dying anyway and just happened to catch Omicron, but they're basically dying regardless from liver failure, heart attack, who knows what. You know, it's all a big load of bullshit. And it's all a big, whoa, and they're trying to milk it as much as they can, and yet the very people who know everything about it, the South African health system, the top dogs in that health system, they're the only ones who know anything real about it. And they're saying it's so mild, we haven't had anybody. Here we are at the 5-week point of it being in South Africa, and they're saying it's petering out and it's dying off on its own. It's just it's not spreading further. It's actually losing steam and dying out of its own. At the 5th week. 2 weeks to flatten the curve. Well, 5 weeks and the Omicron just sort of runs out of go on its own. Omicron. Keep calling it Omicron. But anyway, I just want to put that out there because it's like they're sitting there asking questions of this in Parliament. They got the footage. BBC's pretending it's all, we don't know, nobody knows, we can't find out, but at least we got a 3rd shot that you can have as a booster. Your own Parliament is on TV, answering questions, 336, and not even one's gone to hospital. Now that he's trying to cover up his Christmas party, his 3 Christmas parties that Boris Johnson had that broke all the rules, we're going to cover up with some other news. And they reckon that's the only reason there's one death from Omicron, so-called the world first, is just because he's trying to wash over the bad news about all his mates breaking the rules 3 times in a row. You know, they got information, they got data, they got so much footage of these different people talking, and yet, no, they're going to put something completely different on the news. This is a case when the solid facts are this from the medical professionals and the news is saying, oh no, it's this. It's just bullshit. But what do you expect? This has really just turned into an exercise in control of populations. That's all it is.